And here at this point, he is able to cast his eyes over the camps of Israel, which are his future flock, and go out and deliver his flock again from the beast. I love this, kind of the foreshadowing of what he does. Anyway, the Lord, David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion. Now notice, he doesn't take credit. Oh, I'm so cunning. I may be small, but I'm quick. You have no idea the skills that No. The Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. And Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with thee. How can we argue against that kind of faith? Boy, I'll give the kid something. He's confident. And his confidence, I mean, that kind of sounds like the way Samuel used to talk. You know, the way you could just rely on the Lord without looking at all the shiny weapons and all the ugly faces and all the, big bulging muscles on the Philistine side. You just go do what God tells you to do. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Anyway, he says, go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and put a helmet of brass upon his head, and armed him with a coat of mail. Does this sound familiar? Oh, hey, Goliath has one of these. It's kind of coming into style. I mean, everybody's been seeing him kind of show it off for the last 40 days, and now everybody wants their own helmet of brass, coat of mail, and so I got one here for you, right? He's almost like the celebrity, right? Setting the fashion trends, too. Here's a helmet of brass. Here's a coat of mail for you. Yep, here you go. I got this made. Yep, and here, let me gird you with my sword and my armor. And he essayed to go, for he had not proved it. Not proven. That armor, that helmet, that mail, that sword, not proven. I haven't had a chance to prove this. You know what is proven, though? The Lord. I've trusted the Lord before. He's faithful, always faithful. He's leading me to do this. I can trust him. He had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him, and he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook. And he put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even in a scrip. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near the Philistine. Now, here comes the trash talking. This is fun. And the Philistine came on and drew near David, and the man that bare his shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked around about, he saw David, and he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog, that thou comest to me with staves? Am I some kind of, neighborhood dog, and you're going to run me off with a stick or something, waving something? You think I'm going to run from this? You think I'm going to run from something that obviously can't hurt me? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, I like this, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Right? Yeah, you know what? You're going to be dead, and there's going to be birds and beasts eating your body. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and a spear and with a shield. But I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. I've got a weapon way better than a shield and a sword and a spear. Huh. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee. And I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines. See, this is what Goliath said. Yeah, David, you're going to be dead. David says, the host of the Philistines are going to be laying around, right? I like that. Not just you. I'm going to take your head, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day, your army, right, to the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And all the assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. Whoa. I read a psalm recently that said, strong men are not delivered by strength. No. Wise men, no men are delivered by strength. Maybe I'll find it, maybe not. I don't think it's 44. I haven't read 44 in a while. 33:16, that's even longer ago. What'd you say, 44 what? Oh, that's a wonderful verse. I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. That applies very much. What is it, 33:16. This is it. This is it. And it was a little while longer than a few days ago. Okay, Psalm 33:16. There is no king saved by the multitude of an host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. That's right. It's the Lord and them that hope in his mercy. That's where deliverance is from. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us according as we hope in thee. Okay, yep. Now back to 1 Samuel as we conclude this story, this riveting story here. They're trash talking back and forth. But it's not trash. I mean, what David's saying is actually correct. It says, it came to pass in verse 48, the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it. The past tense of sling is slang. Francis, you going to use that this week in a sentence? Try to expand your vocabulary. Whoa, did you see how far he slanged that stone? Slung? I probably would have said slung. But don't say slung, say slang. And he slang it. Maybe, I mean, this is just a country boy, so... yeah. And he slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine. I love this, just the detail here. David is, even if he's a mature young man, He's standing on this just beast of a man, standing on him. You know what I mean? That's great. A normal guy, you wouldn't have to just like climb up on him. He stands on him, it says, and took his sword, this is the Philistine sword, drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. It's like, did he just, my far vision isn't, yeah, okay, I thought so, okay, time to go. They fled, and the men of Israel, of Judah arose, right? I can see that. Wait, huh? Everybody's standing up like, is he gonna score a touchdown, Yes, let's go, grab your sword. And shouted and pursued the Philistines until they came to the valley and to the gates of Ekron, and the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Sha'arim, even unto Gath, unto Ekron, and the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents, basically drove them all the way out. And this is fun. Okay? David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, and he put his armor in his tent. It's kind of like, when you kill somebody, you can take a souvenir. Let's take this guy's head back to Jerusalem. Ooh. Did they have jars with formaldehyde back then? Or did you just put it on the shelf? I mean, I know. You take it to the taxidermist. You say, okay, I want this mounted on a plaque. Yeah. I want his hair to be kind of greasy, draped to one side. Yeah, with a snarled look, please. Takes his head as a trophy and his armor. And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he sent unto Abner, right? So Abner and Saul are watching this together. It leans over to Abner, the captain of his host, Captain Abner. Oh, yes, sir. Whose son is this youth? Now, I'm a little disappointed here because Saul already knew David, and Saul's servant who said, hey, you should get this guy named David. He plays harp. He's a valiant man of war. I don't think David listened to his servants very well because he already knew, okay, send to Jesse, get him. He just didn't listen very well. And I get it. He's the king. He's got a lot on his mind. But I think probably the guy that was Saul's servant before, if he was there, he'd be like, I already told him. And I told him he was a valiant man. Why is everybody so surprised? He said unto Abner, whose son is this youth? Abner said, as thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell. And the king said, inquire thou, whose son this stripling is. So even if he's not young, even if he's not a little boy, he was at least young and, thin enough to be, just people are just surprised. This guy, it wasn't gonna. And at the same time, I have a hard time thinking now that this 14-year-old red-headed kid comes up and Saul tries to fit him in Saul-size armor. You know what I mean? I think the picture is a little bit more realistic to have like a 19-year-old, fully mature young man putting on Saul's armor. Saul's got the best armor. Let's get this guy the best chance we have. Saul's got a brass helmet. let's try to do that. You know what I mean? So I think that fits just a little bit better as we're putting the picture of who David was in here. But anyway, he still calls him a stripling. And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, Abner took him, brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. So this is great, right? It's like the game-winning touchdown throw, and you keep the ball, right? And, I just see him. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? It's slippery. What can I do for you? I mean, how big is the head of a guy that's almost 10 foot tall? Right? Andre the Giant, the actor, he just genetically bigger than most people, and his head was massive, Anyway, I don't know, but he's got it, and that's a good thing to carry around, just to help people remember, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna get many friends with that, or people are gonna want to hang out with you, but he's got the head of the Philistine in his hand. And Saul said unto him, Whose son art thou, young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse, the Bethlehemite. Okay, great. Yeah, I think he probably recognizes him, but I think maybe I considered that. I did. But I was also considering Saul's guarantee to the people, to the person who won. Okay, it's like David is hoisting this greasy head in victory. The rest of the army is chasing the Philistines, and Saul's thoughts are, well, welcome to the family. I guess this is my son-in-law. And I wonder if his daddy's rich, because I'm going to have to free him. All these other things everybody's celebrating, and who's his dad? I have to make him free, and oh man, which one of my daughters? I didn't really think this through. Welcome to the family. And so that's what Saul says. Remind me again, who's your dad? Where are you from? I am the son of thy servant Jesse, the newest, freest man in all of Israel. He's a Bethlehemite. Okay. All right. Next time we'll get into chapter 18 and continue on with our study of Saul. All right. We've got some things to pray about here. Got some lists. Thank you all for braving the weather. Fanny, I saw Fanny today in the hospital. She looked great. It's nice to see Fanny perking up and smiling, and she went to the hospital Monday night, and pneumonia, infection in her lungs / pneumonia. She's being treated now, and she's got some antibiotics and also some specialized breathing treatments, and she looked great. She had a little bit of an appetite and was cheerful and a little bit sarcastic, and so it was fun to see Fanny. And of course she's getting quieter and quieter as she ages, but it was nice to see her, so grateful to see her. She can have visitors. At least we walked right in. She's in Lakeland and Niles. Yep. And so I think she would enjoy visitors. Yep. Keep praying for Bruce also. Had a good night of sleep. I think it was Sunday night or Monday night, but has been through a lot. Keep praying for him. Different sicknesses going around. Saw Bob today, and he's a little bit sick. And Ruth Huff is getting a new brace for her foot hopefully that'll help her. Josh Jessup is going on with some continued cancer treatments. Those are not fun. Pray for Will Glassford's mother, Cindy, and lots of things to pray for here. But pray for especially salvation of some of these folks. Dave Ritchie is home now, and so that's great. Okay, anything else we can put on the prayer sheet? Yes, sir.
Candace and I and the boys are heading back down to North Carolina to drop the boys off, looking for travel nurses.
Okay, when are you traveling? Tomorrow. Okay. Pray for Candy and the boys. You traveling with them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. Okay. Pray for them. Anybody else? Okay, well, let's get together and pray some.